This is VRoc. 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 Chops. This is VRoc. Chops.
Cool, man. So we figured out how we got to Kentucky State. So let's talk about your time into Kentucky State. When you got there, man, did you ever have one of those moments where you were like, why the F did I come here? Like it was crazy. Like I wanted to quit. I want to go home. Like this ain't it. This ain't worth it. I'm finna go. You had one of those moments?
Yeah, and mentality wise, it was honestly, it was like being in high school, but it's a bigger format. They're a little tougher, and everybody can play. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because I didn't realize, but my band director was setting us up for that mentality. She knew what was about to happen.
Right.
She knew it was going to be longer practice hours. She knew her hands is going to be blistered up from playing so long. You know, all of that. So she prepared us for that. So when I got there, I didn't like it because it was a melting pot of too many different cultures.
Mm.
It's interesting you was talking about the UAPB game because I can remember, you know, and when you a crab, you like, I ain't saying nothing. But
Right.
I just heard so many people that was upperclassmen that was in our drum line like, oh my God, we about to play UAPB. It's over for us. Man, we about to. I'm just like, what the hell? What you mean? Like, who is these guys? Like, who is that?
Right.
And at the time, I hadn't seen them either. And
Right.
so it was the mentality that you had. It was a lot of people from the D. Everybody's from Detroit
Yeah.
and everybody is so Southern, Jackson, Grambling. You know what I mean? Like everybody's so they got this one thing in their head. So I would just see them like kind of like talking us down.
Right.
And I didn't understand that. And so after we went in and we started smashing other drum lines, you know, we may have not been as loud as them, but we was like holding it down.
Right.
And it was just one of them things to where it was just like, yo, I don't get it. So that was probably like the only part about, you know, me getting there my freshman year. I would just be looking at everybody like, bro, whose team are y'all on?
Right.
And it confused me. So, but at the same time, the band director Chambers, I think this was like maybe his fourth year there. He was changing the sound. He was very symphonic, and he didn't let us blast as much. And that's what they wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
That's, you know, just hearing everybody. And there was one guy, he had transferred from a swag school. I can't remember what school, but he was real on it, and they toned him down a lot. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we even had the Glockenspiels back in the section, like they was marching with us.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So that was one part of that case that I just didn't understand. But slowly but surely, as we got better, it was it got decent. But I was just looking at like, bro, y'all are swinging on that stuff, bro. Why are y'all so? I couldn't understand that, man. I
Yeah.
couldn't understand it.
Yeah. So what was your probably probably what was one of your how what was your tenure there at K State? How many years you do there?
So I did. I was at K State the first year. Then I had financial aid issues, and then I went back. Oh, 04, I was only there a semester,
Okay.
and then that's when I ended up going to Jackson. Then I came back 06, 07. So 3 years
3 years. Okay.
total at K State.
Okay. So the first two. So what was one of your favorite games or favorite performances at K State? Your first year, 2 year and a half.
My first year, I'm definitely gonna say that UAPB game, like that was different.
Yeah.
Even the energy, like
Yeah.
just going back and forth, like it was just like it was so much going on. We also played I laugh about it now. Like we played Lane back then, and Lane was like, you know, two
Yeah.
snares,
Yeah.
one bass.
It wasn't the lineup today. I know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I
they
know
redeemed
exactly what
themselves
you
now, but it was just real like what? But I remember playing them. I think well, it was our homecoming, so it was stacked. People that you hear about, people that you learn information about, alma mater, all of that. You actually get to put a face with the name.
Like, man,
You know what I
talking
mean?
about the last couple. I think I talked about that with Travis yesterday. He was like those. those big figures. You hear about them before you
Yeah.
actually see them. Yeah, that was a big deal, bro. That's what made
Names of cadences, all of that. Like, why is his name Cadence Paul? Like, you know what I mean? You
uh
get to put that with that, and you find out they actually had something to do with the section. That's why everybody operate the way they do.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you come in and you just kind of catch that. So those are two games that's definitely most memorable was the Gateway Classic, and actually we had another classic. What was it's gonna come to me. I'll let you know when it comes to me. But that was like I wasn't ready for it. I
uh
wasn't ready for like the hypeness of it,
who
and just
who's against?
oh man, I cannot remember. This is my freshman year because it was right before the Gateway. Because I know it was three of them that we had.
Yeah,
It's gonna come back to me.
yeah,
But
but yeah.
yeah.
I remember when I was in school. When I was in high school, man, we I don't know the circumstance or whatever Lane was going through, but man, we played we did a lot of football, college football games. Like we played for Stillman games. We played the Alcorn game. We played at a couple of Lane football games. I remember when I was ninth grade, it was ninth grade, I was ninth grade. Well, no, ninth, 10th grade. And we went to we played Lane and they had Miles on their schedule. So we going to the Miles game. And I had just found out about Miles the song called Dirty Diana that they played. And that was kill. I said, man, we finna play against Miles. I was so hyped thinking I'm thinking we finna battle Miles or something. Like them folks didn't show up. And then two, them folks weren't gonna battle us. So I was like, but yeah, man, I remember dealing with Lane before, I started working with him a few years back. Cool. So let's talk about the transition from K State to J State. What
Hmm.
was that like, and saying what experience did you go through there?
So I actually that was somewhere I wanted to go before. It was a lot of people that was from my high school. With Miss Howard being from Jackson, it was an influence, but that's not what she always pushed on us. Like we was like a mixture. We was like a Jackson, Bama State, Norfolk State. Like we can kind of get into everybody else, Morris Brown. And so I remember '04. So I have the girl I was dating at the time. We was in high school, and she went down there, and she was a J set.
Mm,
Now and she went a year before me, so she came in '04, and so we had to start talking again.
mm,
And so we was like, all right, this is what we gonna do. I was like, I'm coming down there. I might as well just try to come down there. She was like, okay. She was like, you gonna fit right in. You already know all their cadences. I was like, nah, we don't know the real cadence. We just
right.
know, like, we don't know
No
them
legend.
inner beats. And she was like, yeah, I understand what you mean. So I went down there at a time to like, so when I was crabbing down there in '05, she was already upperclassman.
Right.
So I had crabbed before, so I already knew the deal. Like, I ain't saying nothing. Don't nobody need to find out. Even though, people like Reese, Farron and them, they found out. But went down there, it pushed me out of an element because again, I'm around people who love doing it almost more than me. And that was hard to find.
All right.
What helped me was me being in shape
Yeah.
from the wrestling, having that good cardio, and just making it happen. The hard part was it was 25 people auditioning for snare at the time. You know what I mean? And it was just this is one thing that sticks with me. I teach my drum line this, it stick with me in life. They was going down the line just looking at the snares, and they was like, you might as well pick another instrument. And they like, why? I ain't even play. You don't even look like us standing. Like I'm,
Right.
and that was just like, ooh,
Hey, man,
okay.
one thing about Jackson, man, they real big on their looks. Like even just physical looks. You know what I'm saying? So you look a certain way, you ain't gonna play, man. And that's why I
Yeah,
learned that over the times and hearing my guys that went down there and talk about it. So it's almost like how Southern was with their snares. Like you had to be
yeah,
6 feet. Cymbals you had to be
certain
6 feet.
height.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
like they almost
So
like the Temptations. Yeah.
I got into it more, start learning some stuff, and as band camp was going on, that's when Hurricane came. So
Mm.
that threw like
Yeah.
so much like stuff out of orbit. So I'm vibing with people, getting to know everybody, and every time upperclassmen would come in, introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. So when they kept getting to me, at the time I had dreads.
Yeah.
And so when they kept getting to me, I introduced myself and everybody be laughing. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, why every time they get to me, everybody start laughing? And they was like, anyways, but whatever, that's what's up. Yeah, you funky, but you whack. You know what I mean? Blah, blah. I can take all of that. Cool. So around a little bit before homecoming, it happened. It happened like again. And I was just like, why does everybody
What is going on?
keep doing this? Okay.
Somebody behind.
So Boosie, one of the alumni, he pulled me to the side. He was like, I'm gonna tell you what the joke is. He's like, but it ain't no joking. You better live up to it. I'm like, okay. They was like, your name is Paul. We got a legend here named Paul. I'm like, okay. They was like, and you funky. You funky. We ain't gonna give you too much credit, but you funky. Yeah. And he funky. And you got dreads. And he got dreads. I was just like, oh. So when I seen who he was, I remember seeing his pictures everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. So that helped me and hurt me at the same time. But I had also had so many issues. They had issues to where, they had things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people ain't being real men. So I was in the hospital for a couple of days. And when I came back, it was basically like, well, I was basically one that was stepping up saying something. Like I'm trying to snitch on the hood type stuff. And so when I got wind of it, I was like, oh, wait. And I don't mind talking about it now because it's like, oh, wait a minute. So it was like, that's why you was gone so long. You said something. I was like, oh, no, wait. I know I was in the hospital. I had an ulcer. Right. And so, it was just a long drawn out thing, but we all, man. And, we had our back and forth that we go about. So Cortez, and this is why I respect Cortez so much. He pulled me to the side and he was like, bro, everybody love this band stuff, but if your health ain't right, bro, you got to do what you got to do. I'm like, nah, I'm here. And every time I had went to practice, it was like, got worse. So I was like, I got to take myself out the situation. So I kept, and then, we was married and everything. She's my ex-wife now, but we had our situation going on. So we got stronger. And the band director from Kentucky State got in contact with me because he was coming from Florida A&M. He was like, yo, I heard about you. What you doing? I'm like, I'm down at Jackson. He said, man, you come back to K-State, I'm going to give you scholarship money. Yeah. So that was the reason why I went back. And I wanted to finish at Jackson because the atmosphere, was so dope, but I also had so many personal problems, too. You know what I mean? So now it's a lot of guys that I still, talk to or just say what up. Like it was just a whole vibe. Right. I may have not been able to, finish the section and had the privilege of, being WT and all of that, but it was like they still know the vibes. Oh, nah, that's my guy, man. That's my dude. And I learned so much from them as far as attention to detail.
Yeah.
And that was big to me, man.
Yeah, they're good with that, man. I get it.
This is VRoc Chops.